St. Matthew's House started back in the late 80s as an outreach of people of faith in our community, caring for the needs of the homeless and the hungry. In that intervening 20 some odd years, we've been able to build additional shelter space so that we're now able to, on any given night, have an emergency shelter of over 170 people.
The mission of St. Matthew's House is to help homeless people get back on their feet and turn their lives around. So I think it's one of the best things I've ever been a part of. It's really cool because they actually help people more so than you think about it. When you see St. Matthew's House, you think, oh, there's homeless people in there, you know, but you don't really see their lives changing. When you work here every day, you actually are able to be a part of it. You're able to see the people changing, and it's beautiful.
My husband went to work one day when I was 5 months pregnant with a little one, and never came back. So I was stuck with everything at one time. I did the best I could to keep up on bills and everything on my own, and slowly the doors just kept closing in my face, you know, just so long I could hold on. And it got to the point where we ended up in St. Matthew's Shelter, you know. I'm glad a place like this was available, because I didn't want to lose my voice, you know, because I didn't know where to go. If it weren't for this place, I don't know where we'd be. And I don't know if we would have still been together.
I lost my job and pretty much ended up here. It takes a long time to rebuild your life once you lose pretty much everything you own. I was living on the streets for approximately 3 weeks. And a friend of mine saw me, and he came up to me and says, "You look pretty beat up." And I told him what had happened, and he said, "Why don't you just come here to St. Matthew's House?" He said, "They'll help you get back on your feet." You know, and that's what I did. I was kind of reluctant to do it. It's a pride thing, but I was getting tired of living on the streets, and that was only after 3 weeks.
I struggled for years with alcoholism and my addiction, and at the end of my road, I got arrested, and from there I went into a rehab program. So I wasn't employed, I didn't really have any skills, and that's kind of how I became homeless.
Well, my mom had tons of trouble with me up in New York, reform school, foster care, all that stuff, refusing to go to school, robbing stores, houses. Ended up just homeless, sleeping from friends to friends' house, tent to tent, bridge to bridge, eating wherever you could, out of garbage cans, behind Pizza Huts, whatever came available.
I myself was homeless. I'm a drug addict. So for me, it was, I kind of fell here, and God kind of put me here. You know, I really do believe that God put me here for a reason.
I am a mother of 2. I was actually being evicted, and I was looking for any kind of help, and my neighbor actually told me that she'd stayed here before and they'd helped her out a lot.
We're housing people with a program that gives them an opportunity to get their lives back together. Gives them structure, they're required to be sober, they're required to get a job, you need to open a bank account, all those basic things I learned growing up as a child. We're reteaching them to adults that come to us.
This place feeds you very well. I mean, you probably hear nightmares about homeless shelters or how bad the food is. Here it's great.
A friend of mine helped me find out. She said her mother had come here years ago for other issues. She had drug problems or whatever. She's like, but it's not just for that. They help homeless people too. And she said, I think they help with kids. And I was like, well, let's call and find out. And she called, and Mr. Q called me back within a couple hours. And we were able to come the next day.
You know, I never pondered a place like this in my life, ever. I would encourage them to come here. Because if they do the right thing, if they come here and apply themselves, they can get some semblance of order back into their life and at least regroup. That's the most important thing, and then get some type of direction of where they want to go.
St. Matthew's House really it gave me a moment in time where I could really just focus on me, learn the skills that I needed, find a job, and not have to worry about the home and all the other things.
If I can just help one out of the bunch, then I've done my job.
They actually opened a door and handed me a key, and they're like, this is your room. And I'm like, well, how many people did I share this room with? They're like, no, this is for you and your boys. And of course, I started crying then too, you know, because they each have their own bed.
It's been instrumental in getting me back on my feet. I can't praise the place enough for what it's done for me.
If I can give any advice, it's try and follow somebody else's way. Try and do it a different way than your own, because the results for me were, look where I've gotten myself. This is where my own thinking has gotten me. So try it somebody else's way.
I would tell other people that are in a similar situation that I was in, I would tell them that there is hope, that there are people that will give you a chance if you really make the decision and commitment to yourself that you're worth it, that you are worth it, and there are people who believe in you too. And if you reach out, there are people in the community that are willing to take your hand and guide you. You know, change is possible.
St. Matthew's has actually been a life-changing experience for me and my children. If it weren't for St. Matthew's, I don't know where my children would be right now. Through the counselors and the staff that's available here, the volunteers, I was able to get the physical, mental, emotional support that I needed.